Hi everyone and welcome to NameHero.com. I'm Ryan Gray. I'm the founder and CEO of NameHero, and I just recently decided to type up a blog post on how to move your business to NameHero. And I wanted to film this video so I could kind of highlight some of the important parts and also talk to some people that might be our potential customers. I feel like it's really important to have a good relationship from the get-go with all of our customers, and I like all customers to know where I stand with our business here at NameHero and kind of how I run things and how we do things here. Inside this blog post, I've included a lot of stuff that I see every single day from our ticket desk, from our live chats, and from our phone calls. Customers that are coming in from other web hosts, which we have several come in every single day, and these are all very important items that they ask us. So I figured if I typed it up in a blog post and also did a video, I could link out to this to potential new customers, so you don't have to keep asking the same questions. You can read through this and see where we stand on everything, so you can kind of understand and you know right up front how to move your business to NameHero. First off, I understand how challenging it is to move your web hosting business over. Whether you're a reseller or you have a WordPress blog and you're looking for hosting, most people move web hosts because of a bad experience. So that maybe they're not getting help, customer service they expect, or maybe their website's not working, or maybe they're having downtime. So a lot of times when customers are coming in with the business that already has a web host, they're frustrated. And so we try to make this as seamless and as painless as possible, and we try to do our best just so you don't have to really worry about it, that we can handle everything for you. So again, that's another one of the reasons why I wanted to get this information out there, so you can read through this blog post and there's no surprises. So then when our support text hits you back, you're not surprised about anything. So the first thing that I want to go over is our account limits here at NameHero. And unlike other web hosts that put this in their fine print or bury it in the bottom of their terms, I'm going to put it right out there for you so you can see right up front what kind of limits that you should see on your account. Because with shared and reseller hosting, there is limits. There has to be limits. If not, everything is oversold, and then it's impossible to maintain a healthy and steady growing business. So inside of NameHero, all of our shared or basic hosting and our reseller cloud accounts, they have these limits per cPanel account. Now, if you're a reseller, you can create unlimited amount of cPanel accounts. So that's why I always recommend, if someone has a bunch of add-on domains, it's better to get a reseller account so you have all these extra resources. If you're putting everything in one cPanel account, then you're going to hit these limits a lot sooner. So first off is disk space and bandwidth. This is pretty self-explanatory. I've never been the fan of doing unlimited disk space because there is, of course, it has to be limits, and I'll discuss those here in just a second. So we do limit each one of our packages, whether it is the basic hosting or the reseller, based on disk usage. So you're only allowed to that amount of disk. Now people say, well, what happens if I use more? Well, if you need to use more, you need to upgrade the package. If you're a reseller and you start to approach it, you need to add another reseller account. We don't sell additional disk space. So as you start to approach that limit, then our sales team will work with you and we'll help you move around accounts and migrate stuff over. That way that you're able to handle that and able to manage all of your disk space. Bandwidth, we do not meter bandwidth for our basic hosting accounts. So and there is no limit to that. As long as you're not hitting the virtual or physical memory limits or the concurrent connections of the processes or the I/O limits or operations per second, then you don't have to worry about that bandwidth. For our resellers, we do limit this because, of course, you're reselling the bandwidth to other people. So it's very important that we do not sell you more than what we can allow you to use, so our network resources are not oversold. Virtual and physical memory, I should have noted on this. This is higher for people with the basic business package, or you can order more. It's not an option with other packages, but for our basic business, you can order more virtual and physical memory. So you can see that through the order process. You can go all the way up to 4 gigabytes of virtual memory. I believe you can go up to 8 gigabytes of virtual memory, 4 gigabytes of physical memory. So you'll see that during the order process. It's just an upcharge if you need more than that. So this is the memory that your cPanel account's allowed to use. Of course, the more popular your site is, or the more database calls, or the more scripts your site uses, it's going to use more RAM. So these are the limits, and unlike other web hosts, we don't go suspending you if you reach these limits. We use Cloud Linux, and so it kind of governs all of these limits automatically for us. If you are to hit one of these limits, first you're going to see it inside of your cPanel account. You'll have it'll just come up red, so then you know what limit you're approaching, and then our team can work with you to resolve it. But your site's not going to suspend because that's frustrating. If we suspend you and say you've reached your limit, so you're suspended, well, how do you fix that? That doesn't make good sense to me. So instead, once you reach these limits, your visitors will get an error page on your site that just says resource limits is reached. And then as those resources go down, that page will disappear. And that way you can work with our support team and we can begin a dialogue about how we can handle this. Most of the time when you start reaching the physical or virtual memory limits, it's time to either upgrade that cPanel to a basic business or to upgrade to a VPS server. So those of you that are on our regular shared hosting, our basic shared hosting, you would want to upgrade to the basic business. If you're a reseller, then you would probably want to start looking at moving that customer or that account over to a VPS server because you've probably outgrown the resources of a shared hosting environment. Concurrent Connections, this is a big one here. We get a lot of requests to increase this. Unfortunately, we're unable to do that in a shared hosting environment because if we did, then we wouldn't be able to keep servers online like we do. So if you were starting to reach this, then we would have to move you over to a VPS server. Same with the processes and the I/O limits and I/O operations per second. If you start to hit these, you'll see the red limit and come up inside of cPanel. Again, the account will not suspend. There will just be the error page on your site, and then you can upgrade to a VPS, or our team can work with you on how we can increase that. I don't see, since running NameHero since 2015 for 2 years, I have not seen that many customers hit the virtual or physical memory unless they get really popular, at which time they've moved to a VPS. I really haven't seen any issues with the concurrent connections or processors or the I/O limits. I haven't seen a lot of that. I mean, if it's most of the time, if it does happen, it's like a 2-minute stretch that maybe you were uploading something really large and that you hit that I/O limit, but I'm not seeing that on a frequent basis. Now, the biggest one that I see, and this is important for new customers coming in, is the Inodes limit. So people say, what in the world's an Inode? Basically, it's a file. So let's just call it that. It's a file limit. So we have soft and hard limits. So that means that each cPanel account's allowed 100,000 files. Once you reach 100,000 files, you're going to see a red bar in cPanel, and everything's going to be fine until you hit the hard limit. Once you hit 250,000 files, the account's going to begin to not function correctly, meaning you're not going to be able to receive emails, you cannot access PHP-MyAdmin, and there's a couple other things you're not going to be able to do. So at that point, you would need to upgrade it to the basic business, to where we could allow you the 250,000 soft limit and 500,000 hard limit. So that's the only way around that, is either upgrade to this or a VPS server. And again, and I noted this in the blog post, we're not trying to be jerks here, but this is just how we manage our servers. This is how we maintain the uptime that you've known to expect at NameHero. This is how you've get the speed that you've expect from us at NameHero. If we don't have these limits and we're letting everyone just come on our servers going unlimited, then we're going to run into issues. And the worst thing that, in my opinion, the web host can happen with the web host is downtime. I absolutely hate downtime. It makes me sick. I don't like 1 minute of downtime ever, because I know when your site's not online, you're probably losing business, you're losing money. So I know that. I know that I want to have you online 24/7. So that's the reason why for limits, is because if everything was unlimited, then there would be downtime and problems with servers and all that. Okay, so that covers our limits. Our support techs are more than happy to give you a breakdown of what you're using and how you can increase your limits or improve your limits and all that stuff. So feel free to reach out if you have any questions with that. But before you move or ask us to migrate an account, make sure you check with your current web host to make sure you're not going to reach this inode limit. Because I've seen this actually quite frequently recently, is customers that will sign up for a package and they'll come over and ask us to migrate it. Well, when we go to move the data over, they're already over these limits, and so then they have to upgrade, and they get frustrated, and then they get mad because, well, I didn't know. Well, I'm telling you in this video, this blog post, and I'm going to sprinkle it throughout the site, so you understand these limits and know that you need to check those before you ask us to do a migration to make sure you're within these, so we don't have to hit you with a surprise that you need to upgrade, because I don't think that's fair. I think it's fair knowing from the very beginning what your limits are, and when you migrate over, knowing what you need to come to expect. Okay, next is migrating data. So again, I see this every single day, and we migrate tons of accounts from many different web hosts. So I've personally looked through these tickets. I've seen the live chats, and I've talked to many people on the phone. So I understand how other web hosts operate. So there's a couple things. First, we're happy to provide 10 free cPanel to cPanel migrations. So if your current host uses cPanel, which you can know this because this is a control panel you log into, it normally says cPanel. A lot of the bigger brands use it, HostGator, Bluehost, those guys use it. So most likely you are using cPanel, but you can always ask your web host if they have that. But most of the time you already know if you do or not. And in any doubt, you can ask us and we can tell you. But you have to have cPanel for us to do these 10 free migrations. So if you're bringing over a basic shared hosting package, you only have one cPanel, so the migration is going to be free as long as you're coming from cPanel. If you're a reseller, then it goes into that limit. We do the 10 for free. But there's two conditions of this. We have to obtain a full cPanel backup from your current web host. As I note through here, some web hosts disable this because they don't want to use up all the I/O and the hard drives. So if they have it, if they allow every customer to generate full backups in their accounts, and multiple customers did this at once, it could really freeze up those hard disks and create a slowdown in the server. So some web hosts make you submit a ticket or call them or ask them to get this backup for you. So most of the time it's very easy. Just pick up the phone and call them, or give them a live chat, or submit a ticket and say, hey, I need a full cPanel backup of my account. And they should provide this and be happy to provide this for you. I have seen a case or a couple cases to where web hosts will try to charge you for this, and I don't like that. In my opinion, that's terrible business, because it's almost like they're holding your website as a ransom for your business, and that's not cool. So if you have a web host that's doing that, I'll call them out here in the blog for you. I'm not going to the ones I know about, because the customer said keep that. They actually ended up getting it from the web host. But if they're doing that, that's just really bad business practices. Every web host should provide you with a full cPanel backup if you ask for it, because it's your data, it's your website. And then finally, the size of the backup must not exceed a gigabyte in size. So if you have a really large website and your backup file that's zipped and compressed is larger than 1 gigabyte, it's not going to be included in our free migrations. That does not mean we cannot migrate it, but we have to migrate it a little bit differently than we would an account that's 1 gigabyte or less. So because of that, we have to charge, because there's a little bit more of a manual process. We can't use our automated scripts and just migrate that. We have to implement our charge. So let's talk about that. Before we talk about the charge, let's talk about if you don't have cPanel. So some web hosts out there, I know iPage is one, 2Cows I believe is another. There's a couple web hosts out there that don't use cPanel. And if they don't, unfortunately we can't migrate for free, because we have to manually go into your account, pull the data, re-upload it, and make sure everything maps up correctly with how we have our servers set up. So it's a really big time-consuming process. So unfortunately, if you don't have cPanel, we do have to charge. There's other companies out there that will move your website for you other than your web host. There's companies that specialize just in website migrations. But in my experience, they're quite more expensive than our hourly rate, than what we charge for that stuff. So you're free to go around and ask other companies if they'll migrate your data for you, or you're free to migrate it yourself. But if you want us to do it outside of the 10 free cPanel to cPanel transfers, we have to charge. So let's talk about this. We do this by the hourly rate. Since our techs are paid by the hour, of course, we can't. It would be impossible just to allow everything to be free, because our techs would just spend time all day migrating and handling these custom issues, and we wouldn't be able to provide the service that we're known for. So we have a simple hourly rate. It's $75 per hour. Now, don't freak out. That sounds expensive, but of course, you're not going to work someone 24 hours unless you have a ton of data. But the first hour is discounted to $35 for new customers. So if you're a new customer, come on board, the first hour is $35. After that, then it would kick into the $75 rate. Now, on average, we can perform 10 to 15 cPanel migrations per hour, depending on the size of them. And so if you have 10 or 15 accounts over the 10 free, then we can normally do that in an hour. So you're only billed for 1 hour. So for 25 cPanel accounts, you would be basically billed for 1 hour at $35 a new customer. So that's a pretty good price. But that's kind of how it works time-wise. If you don't have cPanel, most non-cPanel migrations take an average of 2 to 4 hours, depending on how many files and how many databases you have. We're also not able to migrate email addresses that are non-cPanel. It's just really impossible, because we actually have to extract that, and it just gets into a big mess. We can walk you through some tutorials, though, to preserve your emails and to move them over yourself manually. And it's really not that bad of a process because you know how your emails are set up. Our team, we don't want to go through your emails and have to get all that. If we can't migrate it using our scripts, then we can't migrate the emails, but we can give you some tips on how to do that. Prior to any of this, though, we don't just magically start billing and charging. No, we don't do that. What we will do is if you need more migrations than the free ones, you just let us know. As soon as you sign up, submit us a ticket and let us know that you need a migration. And of course, we'll complete those first 10 for free. Outside of that, then we will have our sales team look at it along with our techs, and we'll give you a time frame, an estimated time frame. And then we will prepare an invoice and we will send it over. You'll agree and pay. Once you agree and pay, then we'll begin the process. If we need more time, then we'll simply stop and we will ask, we will invoice, and it works like that. We won't go work 6 hours and hit you with the big bill. It doesn't work like that. We will review it, we'll invoice it, you'll agree to it, we'll have you pay it, and then we begin work. So there's no surprises here. This is all done in a nice, orderly fashion. But again, as soon as you get signed up with us, submit a ticket, say you need a migration, provide your current web host manager. If you're a reseller, provide your current web host manager credentials or your current cPanel credentials. If you don't have cPanel, please provide your control panel and or FTP information. That way we can take a look at what we're going against and provide you with an accurate quote. Okay, so that's migrations. We're more than happy to provide these for you, but I have seen recently and throughout the last couple of months, a couple customers have came over, well, they've got 100 accounts, so they've got 200 accounts or 300 accounts. If you have that many accounts, I mean, it's so time consuming, we can't just automatically just do this. So we do have to charge. Again, we're not being jerks, but that's just how we have to run our business here. And I hope you understand. If you have any questions on this, you can always reach out to me, and I'll show you at the bottom how to do that. Okay, finally, the last piece here is transferring in domains. So a lot of customers love our domain registration services here at NameHero. I actually started NameHero in 2015 to just offer domain registrations. It was later on I decided to branch out into our super fast cloud hosting. So because of that, you're going to notice that we have our instant domain search. And so you can click this link and you can go to it. And a lot of our customers really enjoy that because you can begin typing in your domain and it's going to show you what's available and what's not. Many of the new GTLDs in there and our pricing instantly. You don't have to click and wait for it to load. We also have developed our own NameHero privacy protection product. This saves you from spam. I personally helped develop the email filters that go on that. So if once you register your domain with us, and if you buy our NameHero privacy protection, we actually will forward the legitimate emails to you. But if someone spams you, because obviously the Whois database is crawled by scammers and spammers all day long, we're going to block that for you. We're going to filter that spam out automatically, so you don't have to deal with it. And trust me, register a domain right now with your regular email address, register the other with our privacy protection, and watch the difference. It's really amazing. I've done it many times. I might actually do a blog post on it because it is quite interesting. We also mask your address and your phone number so people can't call you with scams or unsolicited phone calls. They can't mail you junk mail. Again, it works just like our emails. If someone does mail you a legitimate piece of mail, we will forward that to you. As far as a phone call, obviously we can't forward a phone call, but we will forward your email and your mail that is legitimate. The junk stuff just gets tossed. Okay, it's also much easier to manage all of your hosting and domains in one place. I've seen, and I've collected data throughout the years, we've seen a 500% increase in support resolution times having everything inside our platform. Those customers that choose to have their names registered at GoDaddy, but they're hosting with us, a lot of times there's this back and forth dialogue that has to take place. Since we don't control the domain and just the hosting, we can only guess what's going on at GoDaddy. Sometimes we're able to get the login from you and go in and look, but some clients don't want to give their domain login to our team. So then we have to guess, or we have to work back and forth through emails with you. and you're having to talk to their support. So it's just easier if everything's managed at one place. And a lot of our customers like this too, because they just are billed one place. They have to worry about keeping the credit card on file at one company. They don't have to worry about having everything spread out. So I do recommend, if you're moving your business to NameHero, I recommend that you do transfer your domains to us. So if you do want to do that, there's 3 items that you need to take care of first. The first thing is you need to disable the registrar lock at your current domain registrar. So if you're registered at GoDaddy, then you need to log in and make sure the domain is unlocked. By default, most all domain registrars lock the domain, so you have to log into their panel and remove that lock. It's a security feature to make sure no one steals your name. Some registrars make you call in and have them disable it on the phone. Back in the old days, back in the late 90s, mid 2000s, you actually had a fax. Send a fax in. If you remember a fax machine, some of our newer viewers probably don't even know what a fax machine is. But you got to fax in your unlock request. But most of the time, you just log in, click unlock, and you're good. Next is disable the privacy protection at your current domain registrar. Some domain registrars don't forward emails sent to privacy protection, meaning that everything just goes to this lump inbox that is not monitored, and so you're unable to get the verification emails. So we ask that you kindly disable the privacy protection before you try to transfer it. That way we can make sure the important emails get through and there's not a delay, because the biggest delay I see and that we see in domain transfers is because privacy protection was enabled and they didn't get the verification email. The final piece is getting your EPP code if applicable. Some domains don't require this, but most do, especially .com, .net, .org. They require an EPP code. This is basically a password, and this password or EPP code is obtained at your current domain registrar. Just like the registrar lock, most domain registrars, you just click a button and they email it to you. Some provide it right in the interface for you, but again, it's a password and just another layer of protection to keep you from someone stealing your domain. So all 3 of those things must be taken care of first, and then after that you can click here and order a transfer through our platform. So it's right here. You can see you would enter your domain, you would enter your EPP or auth code or password, confirm you're not a robot, and then add to cart. And you can get to this page by just going to domains and transfer a domain. So it's right there. Just click that link below our instant domain search and you can get to the transfer domain page. So that's how you submit the order. As soon as you submit the order, and as long as you've taken care of all 3 of these items, you'll receive a verification email from us. It'll say, hey, we're making sure that this is legit, and you will click the link inside of that email. It's going to go to whatever contact address you have on file at the registrar, at your current domain registrar. So wherever you register the name, make sure you're using a proper email address and check that one because that's where we're going to send the verification. Once you get that email, you open it up, you click the verify link. If it does not click, it will not start. But once you click the link, that will begin the transfer process, and within 2 to 4 business days, your domain will be transferred to us. Now, it's important to note too, when you buy a transfer from us, you don't lose any time on your domain. It will extend the time you have on your domain for a year. So if you have 3 months left in your domain, when you buy the transfer, you're going to have another year plus 3 months. So you never lose any time. I know some people are apprehensive about ordering a domain transfer because they don't want to lose the time. Well, with us, you're not going to lose any time. You're going to only gain that extra year. So that's really important to note as well. Even if you've registered your domain for 5 years, well, then it's going to extend that 5 years plus 1 more year with us. So then you're good for 6 years. So you're not going to lose anything. You're only going to gain. Finally here, we have free domains with our shared and reseller hosting packages. If you pay annually or longer, then this comes with a free domain registration or transfer fee for the first year. So if you want to buy a new domain, then it's free for that first year. After that, you renew at the standard rate. If you want to transfer your domain, again, it's free after that first year, then it renews at the standard rate. But some of our customers, they want to save this for later. If you don't want to use that domain credit right off, that's fine. Just submit a ticket to our billing team whenever you wish to use it, and they'll be more than happy to manually apply that to your account. But the system is only smart enough to do this when you first sign up. So when you first sign up, it will automatically give you that free domain registration or transfer for the first year, but after that we have to manually go in and add it. It takes us a short period of time, but you just have to actually submit a ticket to the billing team so they can make sure that you, one, in fact haven't used the free credit, and two, it's applied to the proper product that you would like it. Finally, I want to give you the NameHero promise. We do everything in our power and reason to ensure 100% customer satisfaction. I want everyone that works with us to be happy. I've worked on the internet since 1998. I've had multiple web hosts, I've had multiple websites, and I've had thousands of domain names. So I understand how frustrating it is when you have a company that doesn't want to work with you. We want to work with you. We want your business. We want to do everything we can to make you happy and to make sure that you're pleased with our services. But we do offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, this is less, we cannot refund domains. Unfortunately, we're sorry about that, but we cannot refund domain fees because we're charged. We cannot refund any licensing fees. So if you purchase a dedicated server and it comes with cPanel, we can't refund that. If you purchase a corporate reseller account that comes with WHMCS, we can't refund WHMCS because we're charged on all of that. If you purchase server admin time where we do a custom migration, unfortunately, we can't refund that because the time's already used. But other than that, we're more than happy to refund anything else outside of those 3 items. Before you sign up, make sure you take a look at our reviews. Each month we go in and publish our support feedback so you can see what our current customers are saying about the service they've received the month before. I know a lot of people are always leery about moving web hosts. What kind of support am I going to get? Well, I personally copy and paste the screenshot onto this review page each month so you can see what people are saying. So regardless of what people say, I put it all out there. So then you can see, what our customers are saying and, what they think of our support and our service here at NameHero. I feel like that's very important to be that transparent so you have an idea of how our techs operate. So make sure you do check that out before you sign up with us. Now, finally, I want to share one more thing with you and then we'll wrap this video up. On my wall behind me here, it says the following. It says, if you work just for money, you'll never make it. But if you love what you're doing, and you always put the customer first, success will be yours. That's a quote from the great Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's. And that's what we operate by here at NameHero. That quote's on the wall in my office, and it's also in our employee handbook. And it goes out to everyone that works with us. The customer comes first, and we don't work here for money. We're not money grubbers. We want to please our customers. Customer satisfaction is number 1 in our book. We look at customer satisfaction before we do our profits. And that's the culture that we operate here at NameHero. And I believe Ray Kroc was way ahead of his time. Of course, McDonald's is the largest franchise in the history of the universe. So he grew his business like that, and that's how we grow here at NameHero. Is we put customers first. Above everything else is the guys and girls, the ladies and gentlemen that work with us. So we thank you all for your business. Our growth has been astronomical, to say the least. And if you've watched this video this far, or if you've read the blog post to the end, we know you're serious about signing up with us. So I want you to know, as the founder and CEO of NameHero, how serious and dedicated I am to your business and to becoming your web host. It's not a responsibility that I take lightly. It's not a responsibility that our team takes lightly. We'll do everything we can to make sure things work the way that you expect them to and that your business stays online always. So thanks so much, everyone, for watching. I hope this clears up a lot of the questions that I've seen, and I look forward to working with you all. Thanks so much.